Your wallet is sitting in your pocket right now, and it might be quietly sabotaging your confidence in ways you never imagined. What if I told you that the thickness of that leather fold could be directly linked to how worthy you feel as a human being? Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you think about money and self-worth. Let me start with something that might sound crazy, but hear me out. There's a psychological phenomenon that researchers have been studying for decades, and it shows that our financial status doesn't just affect what we can buy, it actually rewires how our brain processes our own value. This isn't just about being able to afford nice things. This goes much deeper into the core of who we think we are. Think about the last time you checked your bank account. Did you feel a little surge of pride when the number was higher than expected? Or maybe a sinking feeling when it was lower? That physical reaction you just had? That's your self-esteem talking. And here's where it gets really interesting, because most people have no idea this is even happening. Our society has created this invisible equation in our minds, where net worth equals self-worth. From childhood, we're bombarded with messages that success is measured in dollars. Your parents probably asked about grades, which lead to college, which leads to career, which leads to salary. Social media shows us highlight reels of expensive vacations and designer clothes. Dating apps let people filter by income level. We're swimming in a culture that treats financial status like a personality trait. But here's what's really happening in your brain when you internalize these messages. Every time you make a purchase decision, your brain isn't just calculating cost versus benefit. It's also calculating what this says about you as a person. Can't afford the name brand? Your brain files that away as evidence that you're somehow lacking. Have to decline dinner with friends because money's tight? Another piece of evidence that you're not measuring up. The scary part is how this creates a feedback loop. When your self-esteem takes a hit because of financial stress, you're more likely to make poor money decisions. Maybe you overspend to feel better temporarily, or you avoid dealing with finances altogether because they make you feel ashamed. Both responses actually make your financial situation worse, which damages your self-esteem even more. It's like quicksand for your confidence. Research shows that people who tie their self-worth to their wealth experience higher levels of anxiety, depression, and relationship problems. They're more likely to define themselves by external validation rather than internal values. They become trapped in what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill, constantly chasing the next purchase or income milestone, thinking it will finally make them feel good enough. Now here's where this gets really personal. I want you to think about your own relationship with money for a second. Do you ever catch yourself feeling embarrassed about your car when you pull up next to something expensive? Do you feel a little ashamed when you have to check your account before making a purchase? Have you ever felt like you couldn't speak up in a group because other people seemed more financially successful than you? If any of that resonates, you're not alone, and more importantly, you're not broken. This is a completely normal response to living in a culture obsessed with wealth. But understanding it is the first step to breaking free from it. Here's what's crucial to understand about this whole dynamic. Your financial situation is largely influenced by factors completely outside your control. Where you were born, your family's economic status, access to education, health issues, economic recessions, job market conditions in your field. Yes, personal choices matter, but they're just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Yet we treat financial outcomes like they're purely a reflection of personal worth, intelligence, or effort. That's not just unfair, it's psychologically damaging. When you realize that your bank account balance is a poor measure of your value as a human being, something powerful shifts in your mindset. So how do you start separating your self-esteem from your wallet? First, recognize the thoughts when they happen. When you catch yourself feeling less than because of a financial situation, pause and acknowledge that your brain is making a faulty connection. Your worth isn't determined by your wealth. Start practicing gratitude for non-financial aspects of your life, your relationships, health, skills, experiences, the impact you have on others. These things don't show up on a balance sheet, but they're infinitely more valuable than any dollar amount. Set boundaries with financial comparison. Unfollow social media accounts that trigger money envy. Avoid conversations that revolve around status purchases. Choose friends who value you for who you are, not what you own. Most importantly, remember that financial situations are temporary and changeable, but your inherent worth as a person is constant. You are valuable because you exist, because you have the capacity to love and be loved, to learn and grow, to contribute to the world in your own unique way. Your wallet doesn't define you. It never has, and it never will. The sooner you truly believe that, the sooner you'll find a confidence that no economic downturn can touch. Because real self-esteem, that comes from the inside, and it's completely free.